Today we will discuss the urban learner. At the end of this presentation, the audience will describe 3 characteristics of an urban learner's environment, identify 8 plagues that the urban learner faces, and list 3 strategies for teaching urban learners. The first thing to address is what an urban learner is. According to IGI Global, an urban learner is defined as a student that lives in an urban environment, otherwise known as city life. Although urban learners come in all shapes, sizes, color, and backgrounds, they are generally characterized by groups of minority students and low-income households. The challenges they face in their education are much different than that of suburban students, and for that reason, they require special attention and different teaching methods. To learn how to effectively meet an urban learner's needs, it's important first to understand where they come from and how their environments can affect their learning. An urban learner has many different experiences every day on their way to school, much different than what a student living in a suburban area might face. An average trip to school can include the use of public transportation, surrounded by strangers of all kinds, including homeless, panhandlers, and even gang members. Along with this, they can also be surrounded by rundown buildings and traffic. As a child, these conditions can be very intimidating, and you can see how they can put great stress on a student. Before that student is even walking through the doors of your classroom, they are already experiencing a great deal of stress. This can definitely affect the way they behave and learn in school. In Richard Kirwan's Motivating the Urban Learner, he identifies what he refers to as the 8 plagues. These are the major concerns that an urban learner faces with the students. These are factors that are harmful to a student's learning and must be taken into consideration when teaching urban learners. The 8 plagues include racism, high dropout rates, gangs, violence, poor family structure, school-to-prison pipeline, drugs, and too many languages. These plagues are what urban learners deal with regularly and often take away from their performance in schools. As a teacher, competing with these conditions is exhausting and often frustrating work, but there are some strategies that can help to overcome these obstacles. As a teacher in the urban environment, one of the most important things you can do for your students is understand that they are all unique individuals with their own gifts. For an urban learner, these can sometimes be difficult to discover because of some of the challenges they face, but it's important to keep searching. Some students may not receive any encouragement at home and may be guarded because of this. As a teacher, it's your job to find their strengths and encourage them to pursue these strengths. Taking the time to get to know the unique traits of a student can make the necessary difference in a student's life, especially if they aren't receiving this attention at home. An example of this would be if you have a student who is especially creative and has artistic ability. In order to encourage these traits, you can designate your lesson plans to include some kind of drawing or a way that they can express themselves creatively and really show off those talents that they have. Another method to meeting an urban learner's needs is having well-trained teachers that are willing to change. Teachers obviously play one of the biggest roles in a student's education, so it's important that they are well educated and are able to fit the curriculum to their target audience. This flowchart may seem like common sense, but in many urban schools, teachers are stubborn in their ways and will not change. Even after years of failure rates, they continue to teach in a way that is clearly not working, and the students suffer because of this. For this reason, it's essential that teachers are trained in various teaching methods should the need for change arise. On top of that, teachers must also be flexible and willing to change for the benefit of their student. It can be difficult to swallow your pride and admit that your methods aren't working, but it is definitely worth it if it means the students can be successful. Giving hope is one of the most influential things a teacher can do in a student's life. Effectively instilling hope in a student means that you must convince them that 1, life can improve, and 2, that this improvement can occur with school and success in school. Building hope can be done with 4 important strategies. The first is to believe in your students. The second is to genuinely care about your students. The emphasis here is on the word genuinely. A student can see through your fake attempts and they won't be fooled by it. Third is to refuse to give up on students. This one can be challenging, especially when they are resisting your efforts, but that's when it's most important to keep pushing. The last is to stop thinking you can't make a difference. The only way you can is if you get up and do something about it and stop doubting your abilities as a teacher and a difference maker. The students whose lives you are affecting are the future leaders of our nation. So don't wait for change to happen. Go out and make it happen. The following video is a motivational video by Fernandel Salomon. He's the creator of the National Center for Student Success. He tells of his struggles with education and how he overcame those struggles. Let this be motivation for you in your teaching. Even a student that seems the most helpless can turn their life around, and you can play a role in that happening.
The expectations that you set for yourself last school year, then I want to remind you that this September, you have a fresh new start. Look at me. I was once the biggest failure. I struggled in school but never admitted it, and I never sought help. I had D's and F's. Got kept back in the 10th grade twice, dropped out of school, and became homeless. Then, I decided to take a big risk. I got excited about my education because I wouldn't allow all of the benefits of an education to pass me by. To me, an education is much more than just a job placement or career advancement tool. It's about self-improvement. I challenge you to take the risk like I did and get excited about your education. It works. Use the resources around you, the tutoring services at your school, the research assistants at your local library, or even YouTube and the web. It's never too late to change your future. If you slip and fall a million times along the way, get back up.
Not all of your students will go on to become Harvard scholars like Fernandel, but your presence in their lives can make the difference they need to believe in themselves and work to better their lives. Never underestimate the influence you have, and strive to really get through to these students despite any adversity you may face. It will take patience, determination, and a lot of time and effort, but rest assured it will be worth the sacrifice. Now it's time for the assessment questions. Which of the following is not a characteristic of an urban learner's environment? The correct answer is C, crossing guard. Which of the following is one of the 8 plagues? The correct answer is A, violence. One of the beliefs that Building Hope provides is B, life can get better. Where does an urban learner live? The correct answer is A, city. If students are not successful, what is one possible solution? The correct answer is B, change the teaching method.